This is your daily market review for Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. Hopefully you're doing great. Again, another day, another dollar. Hopefully you're doing well, trading well. Let's talk about the levels, the trades, things that are working, things that aren't working, and let's dig in what to expect. So, as we know, the market, in my opinion, has peaked. We know a recession's coming. We know interest rates are slowing down the economy. We know there's geopolitical risk. We know there's a lot of bad things going on. Does that mean you jump in and short right this moment? If you haven't sold, do you just dump right now? That's a question you have to ask for yourself. Risk reward. Again, we warned people at the highs that it was better to take profit, roll up stops just in case something does happen. And again, we knew it would, not a matter of when, but if. And so at this point going forward, don't be surprised if we get some choppiness, right? Do not be surprised. So it is options expiration this week. It's, it's kind of earnings. So you might see some good news, some bad news, meaning like just the reaction. Because again, we've talked about how earnings reactions are incredibly difficult because bad news can be good, bad news can be bad. Whatever. So if you're new to the channel, have any questions, please check out the Discord room, link description below, and we'll get into the charts. Also check out Zoom chat if you want to talk. Use the Calendly link. Let me know if you have any questions there. See you on the Discord room. See you on the website, thetradingagent.com. Get your recommended reading. Get your interactive brokers. Get your markets 5.5%. Follow, like, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Heart this if you really are watching these videos and benefiting from it. I appreciate all the honest feedback. Even if it's bad feedback, you don't like it, tell me. Also follow on Twitter. If you're not a part of the Discord room, we're posting it in the on Twitter. I'm posting all the trades, all the things I'm watching, all the important stuff. So let's get into it. The CME, we've talked about. There's no rate cut expected now until late this year. Again, if they cut rates, that's showing you that the market's scared, like the economic, activity is slowing down dramatically and the feds are scared. Right? Think about typically why they cut rates. Now, again, the market likes that because they think it spurs growth, right, in time, which it will. But remember, they've put in so many rate hikes and they tried to slow down the economy to kill inflation that I've said I'm on record. Again, the thing that they're trying to do is to get people to buy bonds, get the dollar to rise, and the economy to slow all easily, so that they can win. I honestly don't think they're going to be able to do it. Either geopolitical risk, black swan events, something's going to get people to push into bonds, potentially the dollar. And then again, that's how you get inflation down. The economy, the market start slapping down. Think about it, right? That's the only way you get inflation down. Bitcoin, 61,000, 71,000. Again, as we talked about, like a big up move, consolidation, not surprised. Watch this level. If it breaks below it, look out below. Oil, talked about chopping around. Like it long term. But again, let it pull back. Geopolitical risk, keep it up. But again, we know we have to fill the SPR. We know all the things wrong, right? So just be careful. Natural gas, again, I like natural gas down here. I don't think there's much downside risk. Zoom out, you know why. But do not be surprised if it doesn't go anywhere near term. Because again, geopolitical risk, the market picking up, the VIX picking up, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, the dollar, as we talked about, this is what's interesting. It's been cooking, right? Cooking with gas. Dollar rising, someone knows something. TLT, higher rates being sold off, right? TLT being sold off. As I posted today, probably oversold near term. Going into OPEX, not surprised if it chops around. Again, what if the market just chops around to kill the VIX and we just go nowhere for the rest of the week? Speaking of the VIX, right? What if we hold above 17? What if we need a test back 15, 16? Who knows? Right? Near term, right? Near term. Think about near term. But again, the trend should show you when you zoom out and look at some of the other things. Look at the VIXN chopping around, and not surprised they beat the VIX today, which again, this is the way to make money for them, right? Again, everybody loves to see, think about the market makers. They love everybody shorting the lows. They love everybody reacting to the headlines. And again, what's the purpose of the market? Take the most money, amount of money from the most amount of people. Don't be in denial. SPY, as we talked about, chop top. We talked about the gap down. When you see a gap down in the first 3 business days of the month, that is scary. And then look at the retest. First dip got bought, then gone. Now again, near term, that's why we watch the levels. We fill a gap. Not surprised. Maybe we chop around or touch the gap. Maybe we chop around for a little bit. But to me, the trend is over. Again, I think there's significant downside in time unless the feds go full QE, which at this point, they're not doing that at this moment, right? They again, how would Congress would lose their shiznit if they started cutting rates and inflation kicked up even more than it already is. QQQ broke levels. Okay. Well, again, just like a trend can be slow, downtrends can be slow too. So just keep an eye on it. IWM, we've talked about this leading downtown. Breaks the 100-day. Probably had some near-term support. All these names. Near-term, oversold, near-term support. Keep an eye on it. DIA, 100-day. Gold. And this is the thing. I mean, I told people when you're buying miners as a hedge, like gold to me looks like it's peaked. Big volume at the highs. Now, it's a probability-based game. Am I 100% sure? No, you're not 100% sure of anything. But then you look out and you look at all the other names in the material sector. Look at silver. Does that look like a peak near term? Again, I'm not saying 2-3 years from now that these things will not be higher, but I'm telling you, if you had positions in these and you didn't hedge, why? GDX, look at that. And we said and again, I posted, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if it caught a bounce. Remember, the first drop usually gets bought. That's why I like dust under 8. Mid 7s, great. I'd be watching it. GDXJ. Again, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. The miners will get absolutely curb stomped if the market tanks. Gold might get stuck. Silver will get smoked. Miners will get crushed. That, to me, is what I've said is the best time to buy the miners and hold for the long run. If you've already bought them at the lows where we talked about where they could bottom, and they did, you just need to hedge now. Sell cover calls. Again, I probably wouldn't buy puts, but I'd maybe sell out of the money calls. And again, try to collect some premium as the VIX in the market kind of just, again, there's not much upside in the miners. Look at AG gapping down today, Newmont. I'm talking about near term. Long term, they probably have a lot of upside. But coming off the bottom, think about it. The first dip gets bought in the market. The first real big pop off the lows should get sold in miners. Newmont, same kind of thing, back testing on trend line. Again, we talked about this dusty bottoms. Anything down here makes sense. 7s makes sense. Got it? Any questions, thoughts, concerns? If not, leave a comment. Or if so, leave a comment. Taiwan Semi. We talked about this thing's being toast. Here's the top. I mean, this is what like gold looks like, right? Big blow off top, big red candle, drops a little bit, then chopping. Okay. That's how tops form. Imagine if the chart was flipped upside down, you'd say the same thing. Micron, this one's a little tougher. Holding 20-day, looks way better. AMD, this thing has been toast. Here again, this is the same thing like gold. Like when you blow off, or maybe even silver, be careful. Now we've just been working our way slower, slower, like cooking brisket. NVIDIA, we talked about, looks like a double top. Big volume blow off, now below the 20-day. Keep an eye on it. SMCI got a nice rally today. We need to see it break 854. If not, it could be in a choppy, sloppy range. Again, the easiest way to short would be somewhere, again, over the 20-day. I would be surprised if you come back to 1100. I mean, again, personally, if you want to go long, that's not the easy trade to me. It's just waiting for pops to short. Until this thing has been cooked, showing you what's up. SMH, as we talked about, broke support yesterday. Now it's chopping around it. Okay. Again, chop is normal. Market goes up a third time, down a third time, chops a third time. Make sense? Any thoughts? Any questions? Cool. Leave a comment below if you need. Adobe, we talked about, gotten crushed on earnings. Double top. It's just working its way lower. Working its way low and slow. Apple, we talked about this pop getting faded. Back down at the zone of like has to hold, like the oh shoot zone. Nice pop. Worked off oversold conditions. Chop before the drop. Or is it a double bottom? Or like, I don't know, quadruple bottom, whatever you want to call it. Keep an eye on it. Amazon, because if it breaks that 168 level, goodbye. Amazon holding up pretty well. Again, these are names that are, harder to short. I wouldn't short them unless you broke certain levels. Meta, we talked about below the 20-day. Honestly, the easiest trade is here or here. Because once they do, there's nothing stopping them from going down. But hey, be careful shorting strength, right? Again, not like we're saying short gold, but the miners are the weak ones, right? If you're going to short tech, again, pick, to me, the SMH. Pick semiconductors, things that have like confirmed tops, right? CRM, gaps down yesterday. That's a big one. Again, I'd be watching that for a bounce. Guggenheim, Google. Talked about this fake breakout. As long as it holds 155 so far, so good. Again, I wouldn't be bullish, but I'd be watching this thing red alert. Microsoft, same thing, chopping around. NDAQ, we talked about this being like, at some point, again, tech is not going to be the flavor of the day. This composite, this index, this exchange, no one's going to be buying stocks on it. Breaking the 20-day. MicroStrategy, all over the place. Again, we said 1,200. Oh, pretty close. We told y'all once this faded, and if Bitcoin's pulling back, again, long term, I don't know what the price action is going to be. Like long term, because if Bitcoin goes, this thing could be a $5,000 stock, easy. But near term, Bitcoin pulling back, not surprised. Feel some gaps, chops around. I mean, this is the area. If you want to play some longs, maybe sell some puts in the end of the week out of the money. Again, click premium on this. Define your risk clearly, but I'd be watching 1200. Netflix, thought this was going to be a Netflix and spill. Looks like it's Netflix and chill. Roblox, chop chop, fizz fizz, going nowhere. Again, I like this down in the teens. Pan W, again, we like when Pelosi's buying this. Long term, long term up, right? She knows cybersecurity is a problem. Near term, ooh, chop chop. Tesla, as we talked about, this thing is toast over time. Gaps below the channel. I mean, maybe OPEX. I said, again, I posted on Twitter, is this a gap to fail or a gap to chop and then go somewhere? It could be a bottom too, near term. And then, I mean, near term, and could it pop 10, 15 points? Who knows? Airbnb, we talked about breaking down, 20-day crossing over. Costco hitting the 20-day, turning down. I mean, these moves are over, in my opinion. Starbucks, this has been an absolute laggard, but I'm not surprised it's chopping around for OPEX. I mean, everybody and their mom who has been shorting this, because, again, a global growth name just not leading, well, probably some shorts that are getting squeezed a little bit here. Federal Express, talked about this gapping up on earnings, giving it all back, filling the gap today. So if it fills the gap, should it chop? Probably. Caterpillar, chop, 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 chop. But breaking the 20-day, we said, watch this. This has been on an extremely strong move. Nucor, again, we like steel, we like materials, we like all these names long run. Let them pull back. Here you go, hits the channel highs, coming back. X, same thing. Again, they're going to get bought out. Which is what price, what terms. VALE, again, there's another global growth name. Brazil. But again, they're getting a little more communist than most people like. Watching the gap fill down there. Keep an eye on it. Arrow Copper's been holding up pretty damn well. Excuse my French. Right? But look what happened. It got up to the range highs. The blue box, and it's been giving it up. Watch the 20-day. CCJ, again, this got the Goldman upgrade at the highs. This always scares me when Goldman's upgrading at highs and downgrading at lows. Because they don't have a fiduciary responsibility to their clients. I mean, they love to screw them over. Comes back down to the 20-day, chopping around. We'll see. I mean, is it him and... So this could be a him and hers top. If you don't know what that means, a him and hers is like a double top followed by a hers and him. Double top followed by his, here are the boobs, here's a pecker. I know that sounds a little childish, but that's what it's been called. CF, we talk about ag names. We like them long term, expecting to chop around, chop, 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 chop. Again, you got to eat. Let them play around, chop, chop, chop. AAPL, we like aluminum. Who doesn't like aluminum? It goes in everything, does a good job of dispersing heat, and yeah, conducts electricity, just chopping. Again, I let these names come in, please. XLF, we said, I think this is the easiest short because who holds all the risk in the global banking system? The banks and financials. Look at this. Near term, maybe oversold. Keep that in mind. JPMO, chop, chop, fizz, fizz. What a relief it is, right? Look at that gap down on earnings. We told you this was game over. Look at it. Just continue to build down. Morgan Stanley, Stanley Morgan. They had earnings this morning. Nice pop and then flop. Bank of America, popping, but then giving it back. Yikes. Yeah, they had earnings this morning. Not looking so good. Goldman Sachs had earnings yesterday. Popped. Gave it all back. Why are they selling every pop? We've talked about the KRE leading. Oops. Zoom out. This thing looks crap. Uh-oh. Break the 200-day. Yikes. XBI. Again, another risk on stock market phenomena would be junior bios or risk on. Well, they don't really look risk on, do they? They just continue to hit lower lows. Solar, we talked about, this is toast. Uh-oh. Look, new lows. Sedge. Uh-oh. New lows. Not really, but these, again, not new lows for those names, but look at them breaking. We talked about watching these levels, man. If you break, we talked about breaking here. I don't know why it wouldn't come right back down for ENPH. First Solar, this one's the hardest one out of all of them. You got to kind of trade extremes. Look at that. $15 straight down. HYG, again, you have to be high out of your mind to be buying corporate debt. But near term, maybe oversold, holds a 200-day, holds some old support, right? That makes sense. Again, people always like straight line moves, always down every day, always up every day. It's like, no, that's not really how it works, y'all. Oil and gas, again, I like oil and gas long term, but let it come in. It's overbought. Again, you see within the UNG, I don't like this product, but I think there is downside to cold, which is the easiest short. Again, this thing decays like a mofo. XOP, we talked about hitting this 160s and filling the gap, coming right back down. A little doji, maybe oversold near term. ExxonMobil failed to break out, right? Failed to really get over old highs, chopping around, watching the 20-day. CVE, we like this one long term, but don't be surprised. It hits resistance, It's going to get tight. I mean, it goes from 15, 14s up to 21 and change. Let it pull back. We talked about how the gasoline names lead down. Look what happened, right? MPC, Valero, coming right back down. But again, do they get bought on the first drop? Maybe. Occidental. Buffett sold his calls. He's good. Talked about this Buffett sell zone. Hits it, getting stuck. Just keep an eye on it. Watch what happens. EQT, chop, fizz. We like this long term. Flex LNG, last but not least, I love this long term. Again, I think we'll be natural gas exporters. So if you have any questions about the markets, real estate, what can I do to help you? Do not hesitate to reach out. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, invest in real estate anywhere in the country, you have questions about the markets, the future of the markets, what do you think is the best plan, idea, strategy? Hit me up. Leave a comment below. I appreciate all the likes, support, the generous donations. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.